Okay, hoping that everything's going to work here and just getting everything set up. Hello. I'm going to switch over to the dashboard. Please work. I'm being hosted by 0 channels apparently. It does say I'm live and it says loading video. It does look like it's working. Okay, I'm going to pause this. Sweet! Hello! Oh yeah, I guess I got to actually wait. So I don't know always because there's a commercial and I don't know when the commercial finishes. That's I wonder how I figured that out. It says not playing, you're being hosted. Hello! Hello. Sandigolan, X Hansen Max. Sandigolan. Yes. Okay, so we are going to be doing some live stuff. So yeah, I actually figured out that we had this surfboard thing, right? We should probably work a little more on it, right? Because that seemed to work surprisingly well, didn't it, right? What I thought we could add was you're blaming me for your non-production. Why do you blame me? I am but an innocent bystander in your procrastination. You cannot blame me for your procrastination. Your procrastination is your own responsibility. Okay, so I'm going to try. What I'm going to do is try and make this an ion-powered surfboard so we can actually fly around a whole lot longer. Okay, I mean, obviously we can already fly around because we have the whole Infiniglider stuff, but I figure that if we actually make it legit, then we should be fine. Okay, where is batteries? Okay, put some batteries on here. Gotta figure out a good way to attach them. I can attach them here. Oh yeah, that is actually going to look pretty cool, yeah? This is not a transformer, it's a surfboard. It's a Kerbal surfboard. Do you not know a Kerbal surfboard? It flies, obviously. So, I'm going to have to put some fuel tanks at the front. Fuel tanks are up here. I keep forgetting that everything's been moved around. I still kind of have a lot of memories of ye olden days. Okay, and then we'll put one more on the front. Yeah. Okay, this looks like it might work. Let's just check center of lift, center of mass, center of thrust, center of mass. It's okay. Yes, that should be stable. Get rid of these things. Now, what we need is a ton of solar panels, of course. So I'm just going to start grabbing these. And you hit C and it removes the orientation. Oh, I gotta duplicate those. Oh, no. There, put those there. X. Okay, yeah, just duplicate. Because we gotta have enough power to power this little vehicle. And then we can fly around like Chopper from Judge Dredd, 2000 AD. You know, everyone should appreciate that, right? Chopper is a major character-ish. It's a major sub-character in classic 2000 AD Judge Dredd. If you don't know. Okay. There. Look at it. It's almost like it has some scales, right? Yes, the solar panels are massless, right? So these ones, everything that I've added to this on the top, these are all massless solar panels. So you can have as many of those as you like. Also, fun trick, these batteries, these are massless as well. There was a Reddit challenge while I was on holiday to build an ion-powered plane. And I threw something together that could beat the challenge at night because it was just basically covered in batteries. So I think we're ready to try flying this thing. So let's call it Surfer Ion, and let's go launch. I'm just having a cup of tea. Honestly, I'm still absolutely exhausted after Hawaii, and I do have to get to work in the morning. It's a big week for us. We got a lot going on. But other than that, yeah, it's good to be back. Okay, so Hargard. Yes, I still haven't fixed the fact that he's upside down. Okay, don't fall. Board it. There we go. Okay. this is what we want. So we've got this, and then we have the ion drive that kicks in once we ditch this. But I was never really out of the saddle. In fact, while I was in Hawaii, I went horse riding. I don't know if you noticed. There we go. Excellent. Uh-oh. I'm not sure I like the way this is wobbling. That could actually be a really bad sign, but okay. Let's try turning this around. Uh-oh. This wobbling is probably not good. Now, if only I can harness this wobbling to provide me with some, some speed. This thing going. I should probably turn. Oh no, it's still wobbling like an insane thing. Oh well, so much for that. Okay, so where can we take this thing? It is flying just fine. It's actually picking up speed. So I'm gonna turn it. Gonna make sure that I keep the thing pointed the right way, because you see how electric charge gets used very well. I don't think it's the reaction wheel. I think it's because I have so many massless parts on this. It's just going completely nuts. Oh, he's loving it. It's a massage chair. He's going, now we have managed to combine an aircraft with a massage chair. Oh, yes. Look at that. That's actually pretty good. I could probably add wheels to it as well. That would make it just as massless. Let's try this. Whoa, look at that. Flying over the top here. And you got to be careful because the reaction wheel gives it some serious control here. Take it to dual. Yeah, we could try taking it to dual, but the only thing is with dual you need a lot more power things. This is crazy, this. I don't know if you guys can see, if the stream is really showing you just how shaky this thing is. Oh! Is there anything left? Ah, yes. That was cool. Revert flight to launch. See if this works this time. Yeah, I know, this is it. It's super easy to make one of these things like into an infiniglider. Okay, let's try this again. And I think it's like as soon as he gets in the seat, he adds mass to everything. Okay, how does this look? Not bad so far. Throttle to 100%, and there. Oh, look, you see, it's much more stable now. Oh no, it's starting to wobble again. Okay, just keep it above the ocean. See how far it flies. Look at it go. So the only thing is the wobbling seems to cause the nose to dip, right? What's happening is the wobbling is meaning that the stability assist system is deciding that it's moved beyond its limits, and that causes the nose to drop continuously. I don't think it can get to orbit as it is now. What, you know, I should try building something ion driven or something that's super light that can get to orbit. That's a good idea. I think I might actually build an ion plane that uses ion power to get most of the way into orbit. That might be a fun little challenge. Okay, let's go this way. Through this. No. Oh! And there he goes. Woohoo! Yay! He did not break his neck, unlike so many of his previous individuals. Yeah, the thrust to weight ratio is the limits, the problem with the ion engine. I'm sure there's a way to do it, right? I'm gonna have to think. I think maybe an ion engine with drop tanks to get it to altitude, and then perhaps. Oh, you know. Oh, I have an idea. Ions are underused by other players. I like how Scott has used them. Well. So anyway, how's everyone's Easter? Okay, never mind. How's everyone's Easter been, or whatever festival you choose to, celebrate? After all, Easter is actually a pagan festival, which was adopted by the Christians, Christian churches, as a way of recruiting the locals, the local pagans. So it's not really a Christian thing. It just happens to have been adopted. But, you know, that's all good. Everybody loves it. Easter's awesome because chocolate and eggs and chocolate. Whoa! Look at this. I like it. I like it. Yeah, maybe we could build like a Maybe I could build like a thing that'll get into orbit using something super light. You ate candy and turkey? You ate the whole of turkey? Like, is that why did you eat turkey? Are you mad that they banned Twitter or something? I'm not clear on this. This is just a little nutty here. Let's see if I can get under this bridge from this angle. This is so hard because it's not Oh, no. Okay, there we go. Ah! The wobbling is like super random. This is probably not doing any favors to the encoding system, which is just saying, why are you causing all the motion like this? Yeah, this is the Kraken. This surfboard is Kraken powered. You know, there's actually other ways to get surf powered things going on. Kraken powered things. Let's just go under this again. Under here. And yes, okay. Anyway, let's revert to Spaceplane Hangar and try to build some interest. No. Struts would just make it even more crazy, right? Let's think about what we could do, right? So what I thought is we could try build a super simple satellite powered by, of course, the RCS thrusters. I'm wondering how much delta V you can get from these things. Can you get below the magic? Can you get below like 1 ton? I don't know why I'm doing it on this thing. I guess I'm going to start with ion drives. So that would have 4,000 meters per second delta V. Well, I think this is the this is actually pretty close to being the smallest spacecraft you could build, I think. Burn will be 22.8 seconds. I think I need a way to steer it. So to steer this, okay, so I'd actually have to ditch this. Hold on. So with the probe bodies, you have... Yeah, okay. Hold on. Let's exit out of this. Yeah, I need batteries and solar panels, I know that, but we also need a way to steer it. Yeah, monoprop engines aren't actually overpowered, they are massless. That's the particular problem. So yeah, SpaceX, incidentally, April 13th, I believe, they are going to attempt to do the landing again, and everyone is, of course, super excited. Okay, so these probe bodies, none of them have... look, hold on, this one has electric charge. This one has less electric charge. This one is actually lighter. I hadn't noticed that. They must have mucked these things around. These ones have a reaction wheel. But, okay, so here, if I use that as the core of my spacecraft, and then I do need a reaction wheel to make this thing fly, right? Because we'll need some sort of control in space. So if I do the small inline reaction wheel, and then I think we need a couple of these. How small can you make a spacecraft that goes to space is the question. And I guess I need... I'll just put a couple of panels on. That'll do. And I hope I don't have remote tech enabled on this, because that would be rather confusing. I haven't really thought like how the minimalist spacecraft thing works these days. So that has 4.3 kilometers per second of delta V. Burns at 45 seconds. So that could probably get really close to getting into orbit, except that it won't have that much in the lower atmosphere, right? So here's an idea. If I take that off, can I do a little stage separator? Ditch that. Oh. What's the total mass of this? The mass is 0.5 ton now. Oh, and the delta V is lower for some strange reason. Probably because these need to go here. It says 4 point... No, apparently that is not... Okay, do this. That would give me 4.5 kilometers per second. And that would give me 4.6. Yeah, the penalty of the stage separator just isn't worth it. Now, just wondering how big... This is 0.37. 0.3 of those would be still lighter than that one. Okay. Yeah, this thing should be able to get into space. I hadn't thought about this. Let's try that. Yeah, it will. So RCS fuel will drain from the first stages in order, basically. So I hadn't really thought about how small a spacecraft you could make using the RCS engines, but I'm guessing that this is about at the limit of what we would do. Let's turn on Kerbal Engineer. We want orbital, show engine. Oh, there it is. There, it's just sitting off the side of the screen there. Orbit and surface. Okay, on you go. Electric charge is depleting, so I'd better launch, I guess. Okay. Let's get it upwards. And then once we get to this, we vessel thrust. Okay, now we're going fast enough. So what I want to look for is intake. Where's the thing? The thrust offset. Atmospheric efficiency. Oh, I'm going way too fast. Okay, gotta keep this at about 100%, right? I think this will happily get to space. So I'm going to keep this. We're going a little too fast here. I might have overdone it early on. Might have been a little fast early on in the flight. Throttle down just a touch. So as we get higher up, these things will get more efficient. I won't be surprised if I fail, because I think I have been a little too aggressive early on. What's my delta V left? My delta V is about 2 kilometers per second, so I'm going to start banking over. Apple apps. Okay. Start moving here. Start throttling up more. There we go. Keep this at about 100%. So I'm just trying to track all these numbers on the side here. Okay. Looking good. You know what? I'm going to throttle back just a touch. Because I want to make sure I get to my apoapsis. There we go. Yes, they're talking about launching an F-15 rocket from an F-15. The whole point isn't so much that it would be launched from an F-15, it's that it would have a turnaround time of like 24 hours, basically, right? Okay, so we're gonna see if this thing will get into orbit. Time to apoapse. 2 minutes, 37 seconds. I'm pretty sure I could make this smaller. Yeah, these little engines. The main problem with these engines that makes them overpowered is essentially that they're massless. You can put as many of them on as possible. And that was, of course, why I made that "Your physics have no power over me" video, because that was really to discuss it. Okay, 550. You know what? I do not have enough delta V to get into orbit because I only have 556. Okay, I'm going to revert to launch again and try this, right? I think I might have just overcooked it early on and therefore wasted some fuel in the atmosphere. So let's try this once again. Throttle up. And then when my atmospheric efficiency gets to 100, I slow down a touch. Slow down a touch. And so I've got to keep this about 100, right? You could probably launch a small satellite from a C-17 if you can launch an ICBM from a C-17. You can launch lots of things from a C-17, I'm sure. But, okay, how are we doing now? 3.8. Have you seen that it was Pegasus' 25th anniversary yesterday? They were talking it up. Pegasus is, of course, the air launch system that is actually operational, though they haven't launched any recently. I think that conventional rocket launch systems are really... It's not so much that conventional rockets have been getting cheaper. Oh, you know what? I've been doing this the wrong way. I need to go this way. Start going this way. That was something I made a mistake of. Okay, this way, 103%. Just throttle back a touch. Okay, 101%. Yeah, my main problem here... Okay, now throttle up a bit. So I'm trying to keep atmosphere efficiency at about 100%. That gives me the most efficiency for my engines, right? So we're now moving at 2.4 kilometers per second and letting the apoaps kind of rise upwards. Okay, and throttle up more, throttle up more, throttle up more. There we go. And throttle up more. Okay, now we're going to get up to 75 kilometers, and I'm just going to keep the engines running and no more. I'm going to drop my apoaps just a touch. Okay, I have 1.2 kilometers per second. It is so close to working here. I'm just going to keep these engines running just a little. Okay. Yeah, atmospheric efficiency is just a kind of guideline for how fast you should be going. Okay, and I think I may just be found a little bit short here. I just don't think there's a way around that. I might have to have a single large tank. That would help me. Okay, 1.2. Just keeping the nose low here. Yeah, but the problem is once I get up to altitude, I will probably be moving more slowly. Right? That's the main thing. Okay, I'm gonna cut this and see how fast I end up going when I hit orbital my apoaps. 59 seconds! Okay, yeah, I saw a bunch of C-17s flying around Hawaii. Like, I guess they just fly them around all the time for training. Okay, I think I might just be a little too slow. But don't quote me on that. We'll see if we can actually manage to get it in. Okay. So when I hit apoaps, how many seconds worth of fuel do I have? Okay. In this stage, I have 7.7 seconds of fuel. So when my time to apoaps reaches 3 seconds, I'm going to hit Z, or Z, depending upon which side of the Atlantic you're on. And we shall rocket our way, hopefully, into orbit. But actually, I think I'm going to be too slow. I think I'm just too slow by just a little. 5, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 10! There we go. Look at that acceleration. And... okay. Ah, periaps. 16.9. Oh well. We didn't quite do it, but we're pretty, we're getting close to a minimalist, let's revert to vehicle assembly. We can make this. Okay, the only problem, the mass of this thing is too big. Can I do it lighter? I mean, could I get rid of this small reaction wheel and just use RCS thrusters? I guess I could do this. We wouldn't really use those. What is the efficiency of these things? 260 versus these reaction engines, which are 290. So these are definitely more efficient. You want to use them. So by ditching that thing, we've got slightly higher delta V. So maybe, okay, it says 400 kilograms. So if I put one more tank on, now it says 5 kilometers per second. I think this may be, in fact, the solution that we are looking for. And you know what? I could just stick this on here and then stick one on the bottom just for good measure. Let's see how that works. So that way we should at least have some semblance of control here. Oh, it's not going to hold particularly well. Do these things have gimbals? No, they don't. So this would be, my steering would have to come from these things. Well, let's try that. Hey, Chalaman, Gabavizar, and all. We already tried the stack separator. The actual the mass penalty of the stack separator is too high. Actually, you know what? Oh, no, never mind. Forget that. I had thought for a second that it might be I could make less mass on this whole thing by using a different probe body, but I think this is the lightest probe body. Okay, we don't have stability control on this thing, so I'm going to have to enable that. We're going to throttle up and see how we do. Okay, so... Uh-oh. 14, 13, 12, and... Okay, there we go. Just a little higher. Okay, so now... We have RCS, but I'm not touching it at this time. It will probably be incredibly powerful if I use it. We're only going to need it once we get to sufficient... No, Kilnover, I did not get a Vanguard because I guess I'm not spending $250 on a fighter. I'm waiting for them to make more game at this point. So I'm not a pure hardcore Star Citizen cult member, let's say, you know. I will happily promote the game and play the game, but no, I'm not spending $250 on another ship at this time. Sorry, please no GIF posting, mostly because I don't know how to disable Nightbot, and that would take effort. And this is a solo show at this time. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. So, who watched the surfing video? Did you guys like it? Because that was just like 5 minutes of mucking around. Okay. We're still accelerating at about 5G. That's pretty crazy. Okay. And that says 79 kilometers. And we have 1.6 kilometers per second. I think this might actually work. I'm just going to point it in this direction. Oh, and actually we're at 1200 meters per second, so we're doing well here. Okay. It seems like you're talking about the... Wait. Who thinks that... Are you talking about the Vanguard? Do you think it's a perfect bounty hunting ship? It might be, but there's not enough... We don't know enough about the mechanics to really make that judgment. So, yes, it might be the best ship for that. It might... I mean, it's interesting to see that it outguns the Hornet now. So, whenever it gets into Arena Commander, there will be a new King of the Hill, so to speak. But, you're using it as an escort for your Carrack or Orion. Well, that would be great, but you can't fly those just yet. So, you know, I'm trying to keep realistic here. I, more than anyone else, want Star Citizen to be a kick-ass, amazing, awesome game. But I'm trying not to theory craft in the absence of any real information. Okay, so we're now above the atmosphere. I'm just going to time warp till we get within about 10 seconds. Okay. Now here we go, and I'm going to fire up the engines. Oh. And we're going into orbit. Okay, watch this. Oh, almost. Almost there. Just gotta... Our periapsis height is that behind us or in front? It doesn't matter, we just gotta adjust our thing. So wait a second, we're going upwards, so if I want to, I can just bring my vertical speed down, and that will bring my periapsis up, and I have achieved orbit with this tiny spacecraft. Yay! Well, okay, so the way to play Star Citizen is to, you know, just get one of the basic packages. Honestly, at this point, don't freak out about the price of the ships, right? Star Citizen as the Arena Commander game is somewhat playable now, and if you get, you know, a basic ship, you can make the rental credits and play other things. The big problem with Star Citizen is that it is really being targeted at future hardware. Like, I have the best graphics card you could buy from the last generation. I have this 7970 HD overclocked, like, it's huge, and it, you know, has so many clock cycles and 3 gigabytes of memory, and it barely runs Star Citizen at a reasonable rate. Now, the thing is, if you spend all this money on a good PC, you'll be able to play Star Citizen, but by the time Star Citizen actually releases, like Squadron 42 later this year, you're going to have probably the next generation of AMD cards, which are going to be better, cheaper. The old generation is going to be better. So while Moore's Law isn't what it once was, it's still worth, waiting. So anyway, your R9 290 has problems in I just honestly would not. Yeah, Crossfire is nice in theory, and SLI, they're both the same thing. I wouldn't touch. I just have never felt the need to risk these things. Okay. So it handles it well, but I keep on getting random speed dropouts and things like that. Oh, I realize that mission control is all bust. Okay, so can I shrink this a little? Wow. You have a Dorgo Dorado. You have spent. Did you buy all those? I sincerely hope that you are a big fan of the game. I mean, I really want everybody that spends a lot of money on Star Citizen to be a big fan of it, because you've committed a lot of money to it, and be aware that you're spending a lot of money on it. Make sure it's disposable cash. Don't spend your kid's college fund on Star Citizen, right? Because that will lead to divorces. Right? Yeah, I mean, if you've got the money to burn, I totally understand. I have a lot of stuff because, Star Citizen has brought me a lot of video views, and I kind of feel that I should be at least reinvesting some of that into the game. So I'm kind of just, waiting to see things like Avenger variants and things like that. Yeah, seriously, like, most people should be spending, if anything, if they really want to get in and play it, buy the $45 package. If you're not, it's okay to wait. It's okay to wait. There is no crime in waiting. You can still be a fan, right? Just don't worry about it. I'm trying to bring some sanity here. I love Star Citizen. I want it to be awesome, but also at the same time, I don't want people spending their kids' college fund and getting divorced and then going to the Star Citizen offices and shooting people. Please don't do that. That would be bad. Okay. So yes, what I'm wondering if there's a way to make that lighter. So actually, what was that? That was, I just got to remember what that was made from. Was it was the CubeSat, right? It was the Probodobodine, which was 30 kilograms. We had a couple of these tanks, right? A couple of these. And yeah, that was everything that massed anything on this spacecraft, right? That was 770 kilograms. Now, can you build something lighter that still is controllable, right? So if I do that, I'm just wondering what the mass of this is. So that's 395. Oh, wait, wrong. Wrong type of fuel tank. There we go. So that would get me, that's 400 kilograms, right? Now, if I can get that to sufficient altitude, then I could probably get into orbit. The only thing is, it wouldn't have, I don't believe this has gimbals on it, so I would have a hard time controlling this. It has no thrust vectoring. Okay. I'm just trying to see if I can do something even lighter. No, I know it doesn't have enough thrust to weight ratio, but I might be able to get it on a ballistic trajectory or something like that. I'm not sure. Or maybe I can put something super light. How heavy are these things? I'm just wondering. Now, actually, here's an idea. This has one. Okay. See, the main problem is that this probe does not have any way to rotate it. So whatever you do, you end up having to put one of these RCS fuel tanks on it. Although I could probably minimize that. Now, either that or you put one of the probes on which has a reaction wheel. And all of the probes with reaction wheels, right, they're all at least 0.1 mass, right? So these are the two that have reaction wheels and their mass is 0.1. However, the Probodobodine is 0.03 plus 0.05, so that would make a more controllable spacecraft, right? And that mass would be 595. Alternatively, okay, if you can put the... so what you need is something to get it up to that altitude. You could possibly put a couple of these on. Hold on, is that oh, symmetry is not on? Okay, actually let's put a little Oscar B tank on the front. That's 0.02, right? Now the thrust to mass ratio on this stage here, what is that? That's 1.39 actually. So we only get 300 meters per second from it. No, it's intentional not to put the game onto KSP because I might change to a different game. That's really what's going on. Oh, you had tornadoes to deal with. Oh my good lord. Oh my good lord, tornadoes. Okay, so that only gets you 326 meters per second. But it does get you... Okay, so I'm wondering if we could maybe use this to get up to altitude and then fire these engines and then try to get the rest of the thing in. I'm just trying to think. 326 meters per second of vertical speed is not particularly good. On the other hand, if we stick these on, right, that's going to be 595. But I'm going to need wings, right? I wonder what the wings come to. So the last one was 770, and that was partly because of massless parts. Now, these are the most efficient wings, right? That would bring me up to 685. And that's obviously not including control surfaces or anything. Okay, just going to move these down here. So that would only get me 221 meters per second anyway. So how come that only gets me so little velocity? I'm confused about that. Is it because of the mass of the fuel in this thing? Yes, the mass. Okay, 272. So I gotta use. The plan is we're going to use the ion drive to lift the spacecraft off the runway and get some initial altitude. Then once we're up high, we're going to fire these chemical engines, give us a boost into a suborbital trajectory, and then we're going to circularize using the ion drive once again. But clearly these things are not going to be up to the task. I think we have to go with these good old-fashioned engines, and then we'll do a reaction control system. Okay, so at least... Okay, what is our mass? 7.56. I don't think that's any lighter. You people with your crazy suggestions of what I'm capable of. Trust me, I'm not as amazing as you might think. This is a cool idea, though. I should try this. Oh, actually, here's an idea. Can I use an even lighter? Can I use a roundified? That's 0.37 as well, and that gives me 60 monopropellant, whereas this one gives me 80, and yeah, I think this is actually slightly lighter. I wonder if I bring these engines here. Come over here for a second. So that's like 1500 meters per second. These engines are awesome. That would give me 200. So actually, yeah... I don't think there's a way to do this. I think that we actually... That is the way... I don't think that we can actually get... I don't think we can get any faster or higher, any advantage from building this as an ion-powered vehicle. It's nice to theory craft, but I don't think it's going to work. Let's actually just... Let's do this. Hold on. And these... Look at that. Looks kind of cool like that, doesn't it? And then I gotta somehow fit these things on. Oh, look! Can I attach these to the side of my? I'll just attach them at my wingtips. How about that? Ah, totally. The most economic way to get the most economic way to get things into orbit is generally liquid fuel. Solid boosters are not for Delta V. They are for thrust early on. Do not use solid rocket boosters for anything other than temporary thrust I thought I would be able to connect these things here, but apparently not. We could try and include some InfiniGlide. But InfiniGlide would be hard. We need to get some way to get that extra speed up. Let's just put a bunch of these things all over it. Wait, these are all massless, so it doesn't actually matter, right? We can just drop as many of these on as we like, and it doesn't actually increase my launch mass, which is currently 0.76. So actually, this might turn out to be slightly lighter. Okay. Let's do this. Let's try it. Okay, that should be good. And then we're going to add a couple of... I don't get why these... Wait a second. What is the pro... I'm not getting why these engines are not doing as well. Because these RCS tanks... Okay, and actually what we will need is a pair of RCS thrusters, and that's okay. We can stick those on the front here. Actually, we could stick a single one on the front if I get it just right. There we go, because all we need is attitude control with this thing, right? Although I guess having two will at least give us rotational control as well. We should probably do that. Let's just check our center of lift versus center of mass. Center of mass, center of lift. I mine raw thorium for my nuclear engines. Yes, not quite. The only thing is adding flaps will add mass to this whole thing. See, if I pick any of these, they will all add mass, and that will then put me above the limit for the other thing. I'm kind of curious to know if I can get this into orbit though, regardless. So that's now made it up to 800 kilograms. It's now heavier. Still, it'll be fun to see if this actually works. Okay, so I'm going to put the ion engine on here and see if I can boost into orbit, boost it up. Okay, and for my next trick, I shall build a flying shopping cart, like I talked about once upon a time. There we go. And there are two of these. Think this will work? Of course it'll work. Only gives me 15... Oh, wait a second. How come my delta V has suddenly gone down so much? It was like 8 kilometers per second. Are these wings really that heavy? Or is it including the mass of these... Man, this is like super confusing as to what happened to my numbers. I mean, I guess... Can you disable... No, I'm not going to disable Nightbot because otherwise you get a bunch of dickheads coming in. Right, I'm sorry. It was them that made it happen. This is how it's gonna be. No, the gear doesn't... the gear is massless. See? Take that off, it doesn't change the mass. Because the gear is a physicsless part, as I've explained on numerous occasions. I don't get where all my delta V suddenly disappeared to. And this is really annoying. Get away from here. Okay. Could we... We need the wings, of course, for all the panels as well. Okay. And also I just realized I need a couple of batteries just to make sure that current flow is continuous. Basically, otherwise I have to end up spending all this time shutting things down or whatever. Oh, you know what? I wonder if a lot of the fuel... Hold on, if I... Okay, so that... Once that's burned out, I get more delta V. Okay, let's just see what happens. Let's just try this. No, the flaps didn't destroy it. It went... I don't know. I want to see if I can fly this little thing to orbit. I'm just have to make sure that I'm actually flying at the correct altitude. Okay, you know what I need to do? First of all... Come on. Okay, we're sitting here fine. Put on the brakes. And then we're just going to time accelerate until morning. Because we need to be flying through the daytime. There, night falls. Oh dear. I made an ion-powered monstrosity. That's great, great tracts of land. Or whatever, yeah. Okay, here we go. We're probably good. I'm just going to let it get a little higher in the sky. Oh, wait, I adjusted my xenon gas. That's what I did. Oh! Oh! Yes, okay. Well, who cares? This is the model we're going with. I'm going to load up on... I'm going to get high on xenon. I think there will be plenty of massless parts in the 1.0 update. Somebody, I've seen a couple of mods that put rings around planets. Okay, so I'm just gonna run the timer again. We're just gonna wait for morning and let it get enough overhead that the ion drive will kick in and give us some serious power. So it needs to kind of get below me. There we go. I think this will be sufficient. Okay. Throttle to 100% and go. Oh, brakes off. There we go. Wow, you saw the power of that ion drive cause the whole aircraft to kind of flip forward there, huh? Okay, now the only thing I realize is I don't have anything to control my yaw here, so I suspect that at some point I'm going to have serious issues with yaw. I should perhaps have... You know what? Oh, darn. Oh, never mind. I've just... no. Let's just resume. Let's see how far I get. Okay. Look at it go. Already picking up some serious speed. Yeah, the ion drive is extremely overpowered. If you remember my solar-powered aircraft video, that was done in the days of the original ion drive. So, when the original ion drive was a thing, it would... You know, it was much weaker, basically. Okay, and you see that I'm already starting to have yaw issues, so I'm just going to try and roll to keep the aircraft centered. And actually, notice I'm also stalling because... I guess I'm just not picking up enough speed here. That is some serious high thrust. This could take a long time to get up to where we're going, but I can't afford to take too long. Because we have places to be, things to see, stuff to do, orbits to be, whatever. But we're going to get high enough up. Now, high enough up that my delta V on this ion engine is going to bring me up. Okay. Here's I just want to see. Watch this. Is my electric charge running out? Is that what it is? It's barely holding. No yaw and only... Yeah, there's no yaw control because I don't have any... I do have yaw control, but yaw control will use fuel that I don't have. Okay. Okay. Okay, look at this. I'm starting to slide slip here. So to get out of this, I need to use reaction control. And apparently, I don't have a way to do that. Okay, well let's try that. Okay, I'm dealing with a side slip. Oh, excellent. I have brought it back under control here. I know I'm losing altitude. This thing does not want to fly as well as I would like. So the idea is that I can still control a lot of this. Okay, this could be really slow. Good lord, look, we've been flying for an age and already we've only gone that far. Okay, so I need to turn this over a little and hopefully... hopefully the nose will follow. Come on. 56 meters per second! We're really starting to get places. I want to get it up to like 10 kilometers so I can really let the engines kick in. Okay, now I gotta point this. And there's Doggy running down behind me. I'm just hearing a rainstorm outside, incidentally. Well, you know, going sideways is cool if you're in a car. It's not so cool if you're in an aircraft, as I'm sure you know. Although there are many reasons to use side slip. Oh, I should play Fractured Space sometime. Yeah, I talked to the guys when they were in San Francisco, and I really want to get some play done on that game. It's on my computer, and I should maybe give it a go. But at this time of night, nobody's ever playing, so and I'm terrible at it. So, okay, gotta keep control. Yeah, this is largely going to control where my aircraft points. Man, what's my vertical speed on this? This is taking far too long. So let me guess, Burgon, you're not living in Hawaii, right? Because I'm pretty sure I never saw any place that was -1 Celsius there. Look, the thing just doesn't want SAS to work, so I have to keep doing this. You know, I should just do this. I should just. There, look. Yes, Infiniglide. There, that'll help. There we go. Look, we've picked up 20 meters per second thanks to the power of Infiniglide. And once again, I'm turning this way because I just can't seem to keep the thing pointed correctly. It's +2 Celsius, right? Not that strange Fahrenheit. I'm flying in a circle here. We're a whole 2 kilometers up now. Good news is that the delta V is rising. I'm just trying to think at what altitude I can do this. Yeah. Electric fish. Oh dear. There we go. I know Doggy is asking to go outside. Oh man. -6? Where are you? +1 in Finland. Okay. And I've used up some of my orbit gaining fuel by trying to get control of the side slip. Okay, up and yes, there we go. Look, see these little bumps? Give me speed. I'm gonna swim to orbit like a fish. Like a salmon swimming upstream. Back to its home, back to where it spawned from. This thing clearly wants to be in space. Because space is where the sun is, and this thing loves the sun. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, I say, it's alright. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, da-da-da-da. Little dolly, it's been a cold and whatever winter, I forget. I need to go and play Beatles Rock Band again. Beatles Rock Band is the greatest game on. You know, okay, Lucky needs to go out. He's asking, so pardon me. I'm gonna just pause this for a second, right? And gonna let Doggy out. Just, yes. Gotta deal with the dog. Hold on a minute. And back again. Back again. Hold on. Okay, are we doing this? Whew. Okay, let's resume flight. Resume flight. And see if I can get anywhere near orbit. I think the solar plane to orbit just isn't going to work. The good news is... Oh, you know what I realize, actually? Okay, hold on. It's very important that Doggy gets his thing. Okay. And waggle. I'm going to wag my tail like a doggy. Man, it's really having a hard time getting higher and higher here. MSR about thorium reactors? What? What would Ellen do? Ellen would pay the best engineers a lot of money to do all these things. Ah, look, this is the way to do it. I'm wobbling, right? And that is going to get me up faster. Look at the vertical speed. Lucky is a bit of a mutt. He's half Chihuahua, half something. We're not really sure what the other something is, but everybody always comments that he's half Chihuahua, and then they have their own theory as to which other breed he is. Okay, what's my vertical speed? 11 meters per second, and I have about 1,000 seconds worth of fuel left. So we should get up to about a while. Okay, now we're doing better here. I'm wobbling my way up to orbit. I'm actually picking up speed to a certain extent. But what happens is, as you get higher, the air gets thinner, so you end up having to have a higher angle of attack. And that can mean you start losing speed, you know? Something to be aware of. Yeah, you know what? He is pretty awesome though, right? Lucky is a pretty awesome dog. Unless, you know, you're a post person, and then unfortunately he seems to really not like post people dropping mail through the mailbox. Chihuahuas aren't dogs? By sir, how do you figure that? Okay. The thing is certainly feeling a little looser now. Okay, that's 4.5 kilometers. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure I could optimize this a bit. I think the reaction wheel is what I should have gone with, because the extra mass of these flaps would probably be offset by having a reaction wheel. That's really my failure here. Okay, and I'm actually losing vertical speed, but I'm gaining horizontal speed, which is a good sign. Look, you see, every time I bump, I wobble it. It's all about... Okay, I like how my delta V is actually slightly rising. Yeah, reaction wheels will work in a vacuum as well. I think that really is one of my flaws here. You can, if you want to do something straight from assembly into orbit, you can do it in a number of ways. If you just want to test, a Kerbal Construction Time allows you to do it, but that's just a simulation. You can also use HyperEdit to put it straight into orbit, or if you're just like me, you can just save the game when it's sitting on the launch pad and then edit the save file. That's what I like to do. Okay. No, solid rocket boosters are terrible in terms of their efficiency. Okay, how are we doing? We get 12 minutes left on this thing. We are starting to pick up speed though. Vertical speed is 12 meters per second. It's really hard to tell, but we're definitely picking up speed. Now, I realize that these little engines that I've got, I should actually have bound them to action groups. Oh, does HyperEdit tend to make things explode when you use deadly re-entry? That would be kind of funny. I hadn't thought about that. Oh, yes. Okay, now we're definitely turning. Yeah, I should. Okay, so now, the more I think about this, the more I've just done bad, right? I've done the wrong things here. And so we're going to find out how terrible I am. Okay. Because I needed action groups on these things, and I haven't got action groups. I should be able to turn these things on and off until I get closer to the orbit that I'm aiming for. Okay. Ah, yes. Forget about this. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Okay, you know what? Okay. I'm gonna go back to the spaceplane hangar. I'm just gonna modify this. I'm just like, this is a bad plan. First of all, ditch these. Ditch these. Ditch these as well. Put the reaction wheel on the nose that we actually all realized that we needed. And then we need to bind everything to action groups. So action group on this. Toggle. And oh no, I don't need to toggle that. Reset. On custom 1, toggle engine. Custom 2, we'll toggle this engine. Now we should be fine. Once again. No, we need the RCS fuel for those monoprop the RCS fuel is being used by the monoprop engines, which end up working out better because they have zero mass. Okay, so yeah, I need to, of course, brake and time warp. I haven't... Well, tweak scale would mean it isn't stock, technically, right? Okay, there we go. Throttle up and brakes off and fire this. So this thing should just take off just fine on its own. He never plays alone. Who are you talking about? Sorry. Yeah, I always talk to myself. Well, no, I don't talk to myself, but when I'm recording, I will always be making narration because the narration is what goes into a lot of the videos. So, sometimes I'm just flying and I was like, I can't think of what to say right now. So I'll just like mumble and say things that are rubbish. And after the fact, then I'll add more commentary. So that's the post-commentary that you hear, right? Scott on DevNote, I tried to go back and find, they mentioned Jan re-entry heat. Is it going to be hard as deadly re-entry? I have no idea. But you know what? I think it's a good way to have things exploding. More exploding is always good. Okay, and this one is not one that I can touch. This one is also... Look, I can't leave this because it's going to drop the nose down always. Also, I can't infiniglide in this thing. Okay, it needs to pick up. I need to hold it here. Oh, man. I guess I could just fire this for a second. Look. There we go. That caused a bit of torque in the spacecraft a bit. I use Notepad, actually. Oh, there we go. Oh, finally. Finally, it has picked an attitude, and I can let this happen. I also have Notepad Plus, which is really good because regular Windows Notepad is okay, but when your save files get really, really, really big, then it can take a really, really long time to save, and Notepad Plus actually gets around that. Well, yeah, if only there was a trim setting that didn't release the nose and cause it to drop down. And oh, for video editing? And for video editing, I use Sony Vegas. Sony Vegas Pro, incidentally, because Sony Vegas is super lightweight and fast. Premiere I don't use because Adobe really want to start you renting. They want you to start renting software. I actually wrote a video editor back in the observatory days where it was all a bunch of shell scripts. Okay, this thing is really taking a long time to go places. Let's fire this for just a second. Oh, and it lost. Okay. There we go. It's not picking up much speed at all. Well, you know, why are you looking at pictures of Elite Dangerous? Because it's so darn beautiful. Uh, I actually uninstalled IntelliJ because it was taking up too much disk space and I wasn't using it. I do most of my software editing on VI, basically. I don't really like... well, that's not true. I don't find that I have the need for all those function finding and everything. Yeah, 0.4 meters per second is going to take a really long time to get places. What I need to do is make sure that I have enough... Okay, I'm going to fire this again. Right, so that should let me get the nose a little higher. And where's my vertical speed? 6 meters per second! Oh man, okay, now I just gotta wait. You know, this is really what's gonna go on. Yeah, the only reason I've installed various like Eclipse or IntelliJ, I installed them to muck around with various game engines. I used to be working on a game in JMonkey engine, and then you know Unity really started to rule the roost, so I kind of stopped working on that. Okay, and speed is dropping. Vertical speed though is still dropping as well. No, so PGPer. I went to Hawaii, but if you don't know, Hawaii is actually multiple islands. So the only island I got to go to was Oahu. Now, Oahu is the one with Pearl Harbor on it. It's the one that has the royal palace. In fact, did you know that Hawaii is the only state that used to be a monarchy? Think about that, right? It was a separate entity that was brought into the United States, but previously it was a monarchy. So there is actually a royal palace that still exists there, and it's actually like the Capitol building. I'm a software developer. I work on software for Apple. If you use any Apple device, you are probably using my software, but I can't tell you what I work on. Have I seen the Descent Kickstarter? Yes, I have. I made a video and mentioned it several times during the Descent Kickstarter. I was hoping to get a chance to play with the developers, play against them, like old school Descent, but unfortunately we just haven't been able to make the timing happen. I was in Oahu. I went to 3 places. We're in Paradise Bay, which was a resort in Kaneohe Bay on the east coast. That's the rainy side of the island. Then we spent 3 days in the north of the island at Turtle Bay, which is another resort, which is much more high end. Paradise Bay was just like a very small, cool little place. I liked it because there was a lot of military families staying there, like as they were being transferred. So I got to talk to the guys about helicopters and things like that. Turtle Bay was cool because you could basically get a GoPro for free, and the kids, I get to send them off to surf school where they went and surfed with a dog. They have a dog at their surf school, which apparently I talked to them, and it seems that having the dog on one end of the surfboard on the front and the trainer on the back and the kid in the middle works really well because it kind of balances the surfboard better to have that extra weight. And then, yeah, I spent 2 days in Waikiki. Actually, I spent 3 days in Waikiki. Fun fact, did you know the white sand beaches on Oahu are actually made of fish poop? Because there's basically a type of fish that... Is it a clownfish? No, it's not a clownfish. It's a zebrafish? I can't remember. But they eat the coral, right? And they digest the good tasty bits, and then they poop out the little bits of coral they bit off. And yeah, they can... A single fish can create something like 70 kilograms of sand, and that's where the sand beaches are. Parrotfish. That is the one, parrotfish. Thank you, Dorgo Dorado. Yes. You guys are awesome. I really like the fact that you're smart and can answer these questions. I don't believe... Oh, they might ship sand to Waikiki Beach. It's very possible, but I have to say, I mean, when you look at Waikiki Beach, it has a lot of reefs and stuff offshore, so... I don't know. Isn't the UH-60 the Black Hawk? I don't know. I can't tell you what languages I use, but I'll tell you that at Topsy I used a lot of different languages. I program a lot of different languages, not all of them particularly good. Okay. So, yeah. Any other questions? I'm quite happy to be answering questions right now. Our April 12th, remember, is, of course, anniversary is Yuri Gagarin Day or Shuttle Launch Day, depending upon what you want to talk about. So, look for that. I think Big Island is my favorite island, largely because it has observatories and it has volcanoes, and both of those are really, really cool. This is good now. I won't look like a fool. Okay. So another idea. I lived in Scotland, by the way, for 20 something years, 22 years. And then I moved to Ireland for 5, and then I moved to the US and spent 15 years here. I've not been able to go and see the Keck telescope. Yes, I put lots of sunscreen on my head. I'm very careful about getting sunburn on my head because that is just nasty. However, I did manage to swim into the side of the swimming pool because you can't see very well underwater, and I, had a giant red mark here where I'd been bleeding. Okay, I need to get this thing higher. I'm gonna fire these engines. Okay, let's try this. Ready? There, just get more speed up. There we go. How's that gonna work? Now moving up at 13 meters per second. I actually need to ditch some mass of this fuel. Gonna try and figure out where it goes. Yeah, I've heard that as well. That Titov was the better pilot, or was the stronger one, but they wanted to leave him for the longer mission, so Yuri was the one that got to go to space first. But then again, Yuri had that fabulous charisma and smile, like, if you've seen it's hard when you see Yuri, it's hard not to get inspired by his charm and his energy. He was the best ambassador they could have picked. Titov was much more, he was a business-like, let's say, right? Do you want to see how far I've actually traveled? There it is there. Oh, not very far at all. And I'm losing altitude because I'm not paying attention. At least I'm picking up a bit of... Oh, come on. Let's do this. I'm just using this to accelerate. Which Doctor Who episode are you talking about? This one here? The what does it say? People assume time is a straight line, a straight progression of cause to effect. But actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective point of view, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. Yes, best episode of Doctor Who ever in the whole history of Doctor Who. In fact, probably the best single episode of British television. Maybe not, but it's definitely one of the finest episodes in the last 10 years. Okay, we should get a little higher faster. So by ditching some of the mass here, of course, I'm increasing the delta V on this stage, right? That's going to help us get up higher faster. Because I need to make sure I have about 1 kilometer per second of delta V in this stage, right? This is the problem. A human could do the work that Curiosity has done in 2 years and a couple of days. That's true. The problem is that a human would have to stay there for 2 years. So they would get a lot of work done. Basically having it... Okay, it's really hard to argue for manned exploration because people just need... For the size of a manned Mars mission, you could send hundreds of probes. And yes, they wouldn't be as good or as smart as having a person on the ground, but honestly, I think the main thing is that we are a species that is very vulnerable to a planet-wide catastrophe. And we need to start working on getting elsewhere. That's really what it is. There's nothing else. There's no real scientific reason beyond studying what it takes to live on other planets. We've kind of solved the radiation issues. Okay, we're up to 7.7 meters per second. Excellent. And you notice that every time I fire those engines, my delta V actually increases. So that's kind of good. I'm trying to get this tiny little spacecraft into orbit. It's an ion-powered plane. Okay, so we're now up to about 4.7, 4.8, progressing relatively quickly. And it wouldn't be a Jeremy Clarkson or James May or Secret American. Yes, it won't. So I'm just flying an ion plane towards orbit. And that's what I'm doing. I'm boosting it a little. But I think my specific impulse, let me just see, does my specific impulse, it doesn't tell you your specific impulse unless the engines are activated. Okay. Atmospheric efficiency is a horrific 31%. That's far from ideal. I know you like a good beer. Have you tried anything from Michigan? I probably have. Oh yeah, actually, no. We tried a bunch of stuff from Michigan because Michigan. We had some dealings with Michigan when Topsy was doing a thing. So yeah, we had all sorts of stuff, but I can't remember any of those beers from Michigan. I know there was like some Kalamazoo thing. I don't know. I don't remember. And I know that we also got a beer kit supplied to us that was a Michigan beer kit. Okay. Now up. Okay, so how are we doing? We're 0.48. That means we have 9 minutes worth of fuel here. Well, that's me. I'm trying to use this to get higher up faster. Problem is that I need to get high enough up and then burn all this fuel off, and when we do that, then the rest of the spacecraft should be lighter. What do I think of Vasimir engines? The Vasimir engines need a lot of power, but if they can make them work, then they will revolutionize space travel, assuming you can put tons of solar panels on your spacecraft. No, Vasimir, it's the way to go, right? That'll be the way to go, but you're going to need to figure out power sources, and power sources are, big and unwieldy and everything else. Okay, so now we're down to about 600 seconds of fuel here. Okay, let's try this again. Up to 90 meters per second. I'm just hoping that I can get high enough, fast enough before this thing burns out. There are other things, yes, okay. Oh, you've been to Fukushima, huh? That's interesting. Okay. Okay, now the nose is starting to drop a bit. Come on, this is taking so long! I need to get up high enough. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna keep burning these to keep my speed high enough, right? And we'll rise higher and faster. Right? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use this, and then hopefully, okay, my vertical speed is 34 meters per second. This is the hard part. So we're taking about 10 meters per second. Okay. Per burn. And that's keeping my speed up. And then once I get sufficiently high, I'm just going to kind of burn up vertically. And that should then let me get into a suborbital thing. I think at this point we're trying to go for super low mass here. So I want to kind of maintain my velocity. There we go. We already built a super lightweight craft, and I think there might actually be a cheaper way. The drought isn't really affecting me right now because we're a residential house and we don't water much. We have a lot of drought tolerant plants and everything, so it's not a big issue for me. So really, okay, so The real question is, when I burn 700 and something meters per second, how are we doing here? There we go. Keeping the vertical speed at about 30 meters per second. Okay. And by burning off this excess fuel, it should be increasing our thing. Oh, 700 meters per second. Okay, I'm going to try and bring my... I'm going to keep my atmosphere efficiency at above 50%. I'll let it go down to 40 and then fire again. And at some point, I'm going to get high enough that I can actually just fire these engines all the way. We're going 100 and something meters per second. Okay, what's my speed? 150. This is looking better. So we're really keeping up that vertical speed powered by the xenon. Okay, this is really starting to be good. No, okay, so I mean, California has, you know, interesting water rights. Basically, the farmers were here first in a lot of places, so they have rights to get the water without paying for it, and yeah, so they've been growing the crops that they want to, basically, and may not ultimately be the best thing for California. Okay, so I think at this point, I'm going to try and start going faster. 50% efficiency here. 314 meters per second. I don't think this is going to work. Because I'm going to run out of fuel. Okay, at this point, I should just go for it. Okay, that's us out of fuel now. So I think what's going to happen is I cannot possibly get orbital with this thing. Yes! So never mind! Yeah. This is not going to get the place that it needs to. Because it simply doesn't have... It doesn't have the fuel. It doesn't have the fuel to mass ratio. You can blame SoCal, but that's just kind of missing the point. Well, I wonder what altitude this thing will get to. I'm just going to maintain this attitude. At least I'm picking up speed now. There, let's do this. Surface speed. Oh, actually, look, I can get pretty good thrust to mass ratio here. Vertical speed is slowly decreasing. Okay. So never mind. Well, there, get up to 27 kilometers. Okay. You know, let's do something else. Actually, I'm going to probably have to finish in about 15 minutes, but because I have work to do. So that will be probably tonight. I have another plan, another idea. What sort of mic do I use? I use a snowball. I use the chrome-plated one because I'm, you know, amazing. Yeah, grass is a terrible, inefficient way to do a lot of these things. Okay, the what can I use here? Let's try this remote guidance unit and some cubic octagonals. I said cubic octagonal struts. I need many of these. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now next I need some ladders. Okay, come on in here. There we go, some of these. I haven't actually built one of these recently, but in theory, you can build a system that is driven by Kerbals. I'm just going to put some of these on. Pardon me. Oh! Oh, dear! Bless me. What the deuce? Okay, so... Probably will attach... something on here sideways. Yeah, that'll do. On here... I can ditch those. And then I can attach some capsule... I can't attach capsule radially, but I can attach this radially. I can attach a capsule to that. Let's try this. Capsule. Okay, let's see. This is probably not going to work, but never mind. Yes, ladder drive. I haven't built one of these recently, so the physics probably has changed. Does anyone remember my the crazy egg thing? Okay, so I'm gonna... Oh yeah, I don't have one in it. Ugh. Kraken drive. The Kraken drives, I do actually have a hard time spending the effort to optimize Kraken drives and things like that, because I just don't have the time to really work on these. Plus, it's not real physics. Okay. The egg. Yes, the FTL egg. That was insane. I just remember jumping on it and it would just go ah! And fly. Okay, let's get in. Okay. Oh, yeah, don't fall over. Now I gotta get in here. Jump on? Okay. So that's kinda in the middle. Oh, that's kinda interesting. Okay, so I need to ditch these things. Let's see if the ladder drive works. Okay. Hey! Excellent. And I just need to... Oh! Oh dear. It's not weird that you learn from Jacksepticeye. He's the guy has a lot of energy, and you know, he's Celtic like me, right? So I'm all cool with that. Okay. I wonder if I put some wings on it, whether that would actually help keep it stable. You know, actually, that's a good idea. I'm gonna try this. If I put wings on this, will it actually keep it stable during the important parts of the flight? Right? Here we go. Some wings. Where's the wings? Okay. Actually, that would be that's a concept I should probably do. Where are the wings? The wings are here, obviously, because that's where the wings go, right? Big one. Yeah, let's just do some of these. Oh. X. Okay, that's those, and then if I... Nope. There we go. And then I do this, and... Oh, that's confused. Okay, let's see if I can fly this ladder drive. This might not actually work because I'm not sure if you can reach the ladder. Might have to put some more ladder pieces on here. And then ditch these wings. Ditch the wings! Ditch the wings. Okay. It's real physics. We just don't understand it yet. Do not underestimate the power of the Kerbals. A moonfish. Oops, I did it again. Okay, Hargurdist. Okay, get in there. Come on. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Now, enable stability control. Ditch those. And switch back. Let's see if this flies now. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. It's magic! And it's actually stable this time. It actually tells you vertical speed 54 meters per second. Look at him go. So, yeah, I'm wondering how massive this is. Mass is 94 kilograms. There we go. Wow. 85 meters per second, and we're still going. He's just climbing that space elevator. Oh, at some point, though, it's entirely possible that he falls out. I'm just climbing up the ladder. That's what you do here. No, I'm not using RCS or anything here. We just need to make him point the correct direction. I've plenty of time here. I'm just going to keep climbing it because there's a pretty good chance you get blown out. But this thing is supposed to be maintaining attitude. So that at least is making us go straight up. So once we get high enough, assuming we're going fast enough, we can then get on that. Oh, I just got a review code for I Am Bread. I should be playing that at some point because I Am Bread is by the same guys that do one of my favorite games, Surgeon Simulator, which is just, you know, hilarious because yeah, Surgeon Simulator, funny game, you know. Physics Inquisition. Okay, there we go. 174 meters per second. I like how he's just like not sure which way he's supposed to be facing. He's just like spinning around here. Oh dear. Yes, this is another way to get a super light SS. Yeah, that ion driven one. I'm sorry, that was just so boring. That was terrible. Apoap's is going to be 17 kilometers. We're now up to 240. I have never been to Australia. Sorry, I saw that question earlier. I would love to go to Australia, but I've never had the chance, never had the reason. And one of these days I shall go, but not yet. I'd also love to go to New Zealand, just to be clear. I kind of like the whole, you know, Polynesia, South Pacific, that whole continent. Okay, come on. Okay, and at some point I'm wondering if, yeah. I don't think that particular brewery is available where I am. Still climbing. Apoap's is now practically, well, it's now 40 kilometers. Soon we will be switching into orbit. Oh, well, thank you. I'd love... I don't know what the status where I would actually stay were I to go to Australia, but I will keep it in mind. Oh, the Escher Drive. The Escher Drive is... Yeah, I'm sure that's fun as well. That's just a stairway that you keep climbing. Okay, 65. We're almost there. Wanted to go to sorcery for schooling, counting one of the best colleges for mechatronics. Wait, isn't that like a, you know, Hogwarts or something if you go to school for sorcery? I'm confused. Okay, so now switch over and we're going to rotate the spacecraft. There we go. Start getting into orbit. And start climbing again. There we go. And my velocity, my vertical speed is rising, but my horizontal speed is now rising. Just hoping this can maintain attitude. I'm hoping I'm facing the correct direction. Yeah, horizontal speed picking up, but I might have to go a little higher, unfortunately. Why would people think I was scary in Tacoma? I'm confused by that. What is special about Tacoma, and what is special about me in Tacoma? There's no way to decelerate. I'm sure. Could you take this to the moon, plant a flag, and back? A better challenge. Take it to Minmus and plant a flag. I'm sure I could do it all sorts of directions. The hard part would be that I guess I can't figure out where I am so easily. Okay, you know what? I need to switch back to this and raise the nose a bit. And then start climbing again because my vertical speed is dropping. And I need to get more horizontal speed. Well, I'm going to get into orbit first. That is kind of prerequisite for going anywhere else unless you're being like super clever. I'm loving this. This guy. La 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 da 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 da. Oh, he's like super happy and he's like spinning around here. This is hilarious. Okay, vertical speed. Oh, he's really spinning around now. You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round. I used to hate that record, and then I've heard it, I guess, in recent months, and I realized actually it's really good, dance tune. Well, it must have at least 1G acceleration, surely, because it was able to climb vertically upwards. Okay, so now we're starting to fall back, but I think we're going to do fine here because we're up to 1300 meters per second. This thing is slightly glitchy, but seems to be working pretty well. I should probably... I don't know. Actually, you know what's probably going to happen is I bet you I'm going to run out of power on this thing first because it's having to hold attitude. And the sun is in the wrong place. That could potentially be somewhat problematic. Oh, I'm actually going upwards again now. There we go. Vertical speed. Time to apoapse 20 seconds. Yeah, I've been getting at least, was it 1.2? Who's been seeing my thrust to weight rate? I don't see any acceleration here, right? Yeah, acceleration shows 0 because it's computed by a kind of a thing. Okay, I'm just going to make sure we're charged up. Charged up. Oh, they're going to redo my electric charge for a while. So I guess I'll climb upwards for a second while this happens. And then switch back. Electric charge, how are you doing? Almost there. Look at him just spinning around there. It's like... It's like one of those movies where they have some strange spinny thing as their warp drive, right? Oh, there's there's a G-force reading, I guess. Yeah, that works. Yeah, you should not be watching Kerbal on a phone. If you have a phone, you should be playing Simple Planes or something fun. It's an excellent... I love the way he's just spinning there. Okay, there we go. What way do I go? Okay. Kerbal spinning round. He'd won't know when he hits the ground. Okay, that's us. Whoa! What the heck? It's confused. It suddenly realized that it's in orbit now. Uh-oh, okay. So we're recharged and we're in orbit! This is marvelous. Ah, yes! Take that, Isaac Newton! Okay, guys, I'm sorry. This is just like an hour and a half of mucking around in Kerbal Space Program. I have stuff to do, places to be. I will be seeing you around later. And, yeah, be cool. See you around. Keep watching the videos, please. If you have any questions, please ask me. Maybe I can answer them. I'd like to start doing more science videos, to be honest, right? Because I like science. Science is awesome and all that. But yeah, I don't know. If you get any ideas, get in touch. Until then, I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe. I can't turn this off. Oh dear. This is not quite working quite the way I expected.